The most revealing thing about this video isn't the island. It's the audience. Millions of people see the phrase, "survive 30 days with your ex for $250,000" and instantly understand the real product being sold. Not survival, not romance, controlled emotional discomfort. The central claim of the video is that putting former couples under pressure will reveal who they really are. My question is whether the challenge actually proves that, or whether it mostly proves who can perform stability while cameras and money are watching. Notice how quickly the survival premise becomes secondary. The opening setup frames the island as the obstacle, but the exes are the actual terrain. Shelter construction, food, and endurance matter. Yet the narrative keeps returning to interpersonal history because that's where the uncertainty lives. A storm is predictable, an ex is not. The video understands this immediately. To the video's credit, its strongest evidence comes from duration. 30 days is long enough that people stop delivering perfect reality show answers. In the visible progression from early camp construction to later scenes of exhaustion and routine, the challenge does create conditions where old habits reappear. That's a more convincing test than a short-term social experiment would have been. But here's the hidden assumption. The video quietly suggests that surviving together demonstrates relationship compatibility. Those are not the same thing. Plenty of people can cooperate effectively with someone they should never date again. In fact, some exes make excellent teammates precisely because romance is over. The evidence supports resilience under pressure more than it supports any conclusion about love. This is where the premise becomes morally interesting. The cash prize doesn't just reward survival. It rewards emotional management. Participants are incentivized to revisit painful history while remaining productive. That's a very modern kind of entertainment. Therapy language, competition structure, and game show economics all occupying the same space. And this is where the evidence gets weaker. Whenever a reconciliation appears meaningful, we have to remember the environment is wildly artificial. Tropical isolation, constant filming, group dynamics, and a $250,000 incentive create behavior that may be genuine in the moment without being durable outside the experiment. The strongest emotional scenes are also the hardest to generalize from. A brief philosophical detour. For decades, reality television asked whether strangers could live together. This video asks whether former intimacy can be repurposed as infrastructure. That's a strange sentence, but watch the challenge and it fits. Shared memories become resources. Old arguments become obstacles. Personal history functions almost like survival equipment. What I genuinely like is that the video doesn't rely entirely on conflict. Several moments suggest cooperation, adaptation, and even maturity are more interesting than explosive drama. That's an unusual choice in a format that could easily become a parade of humiliations. The challenge occasionally discovers something better. People learning how to occupy the same space after disappointment. The production style matters only because it shapes the argument. Day counters, challenge milestones, and visible progress give the impression of scientific measurement. Day 2, Day 4, Day 6, Day 13. The structure feels objective, but what's actually being measured remains fuzzy. Endurance? Cooperation? Attraction? Closure? The video benefits from that ambiguity more than it resolves it. My broader takeaway is that this video reflects a culture increasingly fascinated by turning private emotional experiences into public tests. We don't just want to know whether people can move on from relationships. We want scoreboards, elimination pressure, and prize money attached to the process. It's entertaining. It's often insightful. It's also a little unsettling. So does the video prove its implied thesis? Partly. It demonstrates that pressure reveals aspects of character. It demonstrates that some former couples can cooperate better than expected. What it does not prove is that the island reveals any final truth about relationships. The conclusion is more debatable than the format suggests. The strongest part of the experiment is observing people adapt. The weakest part is pretending adaptation answers bigger questions about love, trust, or compatibility. And that's why this video sticks around after the challenge ends. It's not really about survival. It's about our growing appetite for watching emotional history become a competitive sport. If that kind of cultural trade-off interests you, stick around. There are a lot more internet spectacles that reveal more about us than the people on screen.